The Lakers series has been off to a really rocky start with Alpren Sengun and a whole Rockets roster playing really poorly. Kevin Durant had 9 turnovers last game, but this Rockets team is not looking like the contender that we all expected it to be going into the season. A lot of us were expecting this team to give OKC and the Nuggets a run for their money and be a potential team that makes it out the West, adding another shot maker like Kevin Durant alongside their already great young core that they had go to 50 games last season. It was like, oh, no wonder. And everyone's thinking Ime Udoka is a great coach. And now everything is shift. Ime Udoka is a bad coach. He needs to be fired this offseason. Um, he just can't think of schematics properly. He can't really change too much about this roster to go against the Lakers, which is a very easy team to scheme around because they're missing two offensive key pieces in Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic. So there's just so much things that we're looking at here, and Ime Udoka is definitely an outlier that needs to be fired this offseason. And it makes me think of what other offseason moves are going to be made for the Rockets team. I don't see the Rockets making the second round. So this is I'm making this video with an assumption that the Rockets lose their next however many games and they lose this series. I think the Lakers take it out. They have the momentum. They're playing amazing. They're making them look awful. I mean, not the amount of turnovers and bad offensive possessions. Amen Thompson in game one shot a 3-point shot and it hit someone so hard that we might need to check this guy for concussion protocol. I mean, he completely airballed it and hit someone in the head. It was insane. This is just like this offensive roster does not work for the playoffs, however, whatsoever, and it needs to be changed. Everything needs to be moved. And so I'm thinking here, what type of pieces could be possibly moved this offseason? And I'm looking at Alpren Sengun. Now, a lot of people are going to be hating on me for this because Alpren Sengun is a really cool. No, he's not cool. He's a really good player for how young he is, and he's young. So like we don't he could change out and flesh out his play style, and we could see how he develops from here. But I'm just so low on Alperen Sengun, though just the way he plays, and he's been referred to as a baby Jokic, but there's a big difference between him and Jokic. Alperen Sengun, he turns the ball over quite a bit. He has a lot of problem with that. He's slow and unathletic like Jokic. He has great passing feel. He can pass at the interior. His passing is not very much like Jokic's though. Um, I would say Alperen Sengun is more of an interior passer rather than Jokic, who I think kind of just is an all around passer. And I think he gets referred too much to Jokic, and it's like, well, they're not really even comparable at all. Jokic is an offensive superpower. Alperen Sengun is not just a baby Jokic. He's like a fetus Jokic. Like Alperen Sengun, he can't score around the rim. Jokic has the best touch around the rim, like if anyone in the NBA. Like Jokic's post hook shot, like little baby hook, is a like insanely efficient shot. Whenever that goes up, I don't think it's gonna miss. That's like every time I see Alperen Sengun shoot a shot up, I think it's gonna miss. And that's the big difference between them. Jokic is an efficiency monster. He doesn't turn over the ball as much as Alperen Sengun, incomparable to their usage percentage. And like Jokic is holding the ball way more than Sengun, and he's the turnovers is just like a big thing for Sengun. It's something I don't like. He's very sloppy offensively. He has the ability to get to the basket, but once he gets there, he's just gonna chuck something up and hope it goes in. Like yeah, his touch around the rim is awful for a big. He shoots 68% around the rim, which sounds like a really good number, but it's a 49th percentile number and compared to other bigs. So that's under that's under 50%. So that's really awful. And like if you there's guards that are shooting higher percentage. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Anthony Edwards, which I know are fantastic star players and shoot around the rim, but they're so much smaller than Alperen Sengun. And a lot of times Alperen Sengun is shooting this over smaller defenders. So it's absolutely ridiculous that Alperen Sengun misses these. I mean, it's so frustrating watching the Rockets. I was such a fan of the Rockets last season. I was like, oh my gosh, this young core. Alperen Sengun is taking a leap. He was an All Star this season. This is amazing. I'm loving this core, and I can't wait to see where they go from here. And then Alperen Sengun, it seems like he regressed this season. He's this shot making ability is so difficult, and he really hasn't. It doesn't feel like anything was worked on this past offseason coming into the season for Alpren Sengun. He had the game one against the OKC Oklahoma City Thunder in the first game of the season this year, and he went absolutely ballistic. He was shooting, he was making everything. He had like 38 points. He took them to double overtime against OKC, and it's just like this is fake. You can't shoot still. You suck at shooting. You're like a under league average 3-point shooter. Your shot looks whack. I don't trust your shot at all. I would leave you open in every playoff series imaginable. And it's just like, where do we go? Where are we going to go? Because your main thing is offense. That's the main thing about you can't, you're not a good defender. Your main thing is offense, and you are a sloppy offensive player. And it's like, we made this move for Kevin Durant, and maybe Kevin Durant can clear up these problems. And Fred VanVleet is not here, but Alperen Sengun is playing so sloppily with the ball, and his finishing is bad. He can rebound pretty well, but his finishing, his shot making, everything about his offensive game has major flaws to it, and that's what he's best at. He's best at. He's only a 20 point per game scorer, but he's doing it on awful efficiency for a big. And it's like, if I was the Rockets, I would trade Alperen Sengun. And that's a very hot take. I know it's a very hot take because he's young. He just signed an extension. But I think Alperen Sengun should be moved this offseason. A lot of people like might see highlights, and in highlights, Alperen Sengun can look really good. Alperen Sengun has plenty of highlights where he's blocking a shot or he's making 3 pointers. He had a game against the Pelicans this year where he made like 5 3 pointers and didn't miss. And he's so inconsistent. He shows you that, but that's not real. He doesn't actually do that. It's fake. He never does that. He has never done that. He looked so good in EuroLeague last year as well. And it's just all fake. He's a faker. He fakes everything. He's a fake man. He doesn't exist. He's so frustrating. He's incredibly frustrating for me to watch and deal with. I can't take it anymore, and I need him off the Rockets team. And let's get into some serious topics about why Alperen Sengun needs to go. Is I really don't like the fit with him and Amen Thompson. And I feel like it really does come down to pick and choose because I don't think they can play and exist on a championship contender roster. I mean, obviously, there's always an ability for that to happen if they have like a super team around them. They figure out some weird cap space thing, and they have like Steph Curry and Kevin Durant on the roster alongside Emmett Thompson and Alperen Sengun. But that's not realistic. And having a non-defending big is a big thing for me, and especially because Alperen Sengun is a non-defending big while also being a sloppy offensive player, and that might be offensive. I can't play offense as good as Alperen Sengun. I'm judging from behind a screen right now, but Alperen Sengun touch around the rim and shot making is just a really big concern. And Amen Thompson has more upside in that factor. And no matter what, I know Amen Thompson is going to give me really solid defense and really great transition offense. Having a baseline of an elite athlete level player who can play make, score around the rim, has great field for game, and just really gives me that effort and intensity on the defensive end. It's just something that I value a lot more than what Alperen Sengun brings. And if it comes down to if you have to choose between Alperen Sengun and Amen Thompson is a very clear choice for me. And I don't. I, if I think, and I think anyone who chooses Alperen Sengun over Amen Thompson, I want what I want what you're smoking. Whatever you have, whatever you're taking, that's what I want. Because this is I don't like talking bad about players, but this is just Alperen Sengun is just a player that I just can't get behind. I can't get behind the hype. I can't get behind anything he does because it's just the shooting is so awful. It's so poor, and I'm looking at this Rockets construction. I think there's three things that I need to have changed. Jabari Smith Jr. needs to be moved. He could be a solid bench player if he was on a worse contract, a better contract, because he's making way too much money for his production. I don't see a whole lot of upside. I I see him the same. He looks like I see him just as like a player who could play some defense. He's tall and he can shoot the shot. I think he'd be definitely very valuable to a championship team if his contract wasn't so big. There's a major contract limitations, and I think we could use that contract and pair it with something. Someone could take his youthful upside, pair it with something, and trade him for something like that could actually help the roster, like maybe a better starting center. Alperen Sengun, I would love to see get moved on this offseason. Most likely won't happen, they might just give it another year and wait to see it with this full roster with for Ed VanVleet and Steven Adams healthy, which is a major part. I think this team would look a lot different, and they would definitely sweep through the Lakers if they had both those players. But regardless of that, I don't see a future with Alperen Sengun, and I hope he proves me wrong because I love being proved wrong. I never want to hate on these players. I don't want Alperen Sengun to have a bad career. I hope he can figure it out, but I'm just looking at the team construction of the Rockets right now, and if it's pick and choose between certain pieces, Alperen Sengun is a piece I'd be willing to let go of, and I think Alperen Sengun needs to be moved, Jabari Smith Jr. needs to be moved, and Ime Udoka needs to be fired, and they need to find a new coach who can actually write up some schematics. You know where Imo Doka would do great? Send his ass to the Raptors. Well, and I like their coach over there, but the Raptors seem very content with just making the playoffs. And Ime Udoka can do that for you. He's not going to win you a very much series. He is just not good schematics. He can't build up a schematic to go against a team. And that's just where the real coaching issue is because JJ Redick is just running laps around him. LeBron James is going back to his 2018 self, and he is absolutely dog walking the Rockets right now. He is running the offense. He's the fact that LeBron can move like a freight train across the screen at the age of 41 is insane. I'm watching the Lakers versus Rockets game, and I'm seeing how fast LeBron is moving, and I just like, how are you doing this at age 41? And hopefully the Lakers win the series. Watching. I want you all to picture this. Picture the Rockets offense that they currently have going against OKC's defense. They might not put up 20 points. OKC might limit them to 12 that night. And it's all going to be Kevin Durant and maybe one Amen Thompson transition dunk. I mean, this is just like absolutely ridiculous. I don't see any hope for this Rockets team to go anywhere in the playoffs. And I think there's definitely a lot of moves that need to be made. Also, Alperen Sengun, stop complaining so much. I don't. This is one of the big reasons I don't like Alperen Sengun. Alperen Sengun complains too much to the refs. Why are you constantly complaining? And that's a big problem on defense as well. Why are you not running back to on defense? You are complaining and complaining to all the referees. Why did they tell me? No. Dude, stop that. Your shot wasn't going in anyway because you have awful touch around the rim. So stop yelling at the refs and actually go back there and add some value and you know contribute on defense. I don't want to see the baby Jokic comparison anymore. That's an insult to Jokic. Alperen Sengun is a really good player, and I hope he figures out all the stuff he has going on. But he should never be compared to Jokic. They're definitely not on the same level at all. Shot making wise, playmaking wise, even defensively, I would prefer Jokic over Sengun, and that's saying something because I'm very low on Jokic's defense. But like Jokic is just a better defensive rebounder, and he's better in the passing lanes. Alperen Sengun is a slightly better interior defender, I'd say, but still not by much. And I think the Rockets just need a. The Rockets are fried. Lakers in five, and that's pretty much it.